everyone, welcome back. So today I'm going to be doing a video on Neutrogena's Hydro Boost Hydrating Tint. This has hyaluronic acid. It says to moisturize and plump skin for 24 hours. Now I found my foundation at Ulta, but you can find it at any drugstore right now. It just came out, but one of the cheapest places I found it was at Ulta for $14.99. I picked up 2 shades. Now here's the deal. There are 10 shades in the line, but they're not very variating. They don't have a great shade selection. I really wish that they did. I have the shade 30 Buff and Classic Ivory 10. So I kind of mixed the two of these together on my face, which isn't ideal because then you're paying basically $30 for a drugstore foundation to get the color to work. But just for me, that's what I personally found as like probably one of the negatives of this foundation. And I hate to give a negative right off the bat, but they need a better shade selection. Sometimes when foundations just launch, they decide to launch maybe like a new product within a shade selection that's not as large, and then they go in with a shade extension a little bit later when they see what the feedback from the product is. So let's just get into the claims and then we're going to go into application. So I'm going to read you the claims based off of what it listed on the website. It says it moisturizes and plumps the skin for up to 24 hours. So that is a great claim. For those of you who have dry skin, I'm sure this is something you've been looking for. I know I'm always looking for something that says it plumps the skin. Who wouldn't want nice, plump, beautiful skin? I mean, I already got some plump cheeks, but you know. Moisturize and plumps the skin for 24 hours. That's the first claim. Second claim is it doesn't settle into fine lines. So for those of you who have a little bit more mature skin, if you're having some fine lines sort of on your face, this is not only going to moisturize it, but I know with fine lines, sometimes with maturity of skin comes dryness. So this might be something for someone who struggles a little bit with fine lines. Obviously, if it doesn't settle into fine lines, that's another great claim. This kind of goes along with the first one, but it says that it boosts hydration for 24 hours for more radiant, smoother skin over time. So over time, it's going to be making your skin better. It claims that it's better for your skin than wearing no makeup at all, even after you take it off. So you're basically treating your skin while you're wearing it. So it's kind of like a treatment all in one. It's oil-free, it's weightless, and it has like a no makeup feel, and it says it's non-greasy. Now, I'm a full coverage kind of girl. I find that this is medium to buildable coverage. By no means is it full coverage. It has a super interesting feel to it. I only think that that is because of the hydrating properties of this, but it's almost like this like gel, moussey, not moussey, but like watery, I can't describe it, but I told you guys in my last video, you need to go and try it out. Now, the packaging has this twist off top, very much like the Clinique foundation. So it has this big wand. This is the shade Buff, and I'm just going to show you that one right there. So you put it on your skin, and then when you go to rub it in, it's just, it almost turns into this like silky, like watery, not watery as in like disappears and like runs down, but almost like a different texture when you rub it in, and it looks on the skin very skin-like. I found the best way to apply it is a brush instead of a beauty blender. The beauty blender soaks up too much of the product. You get an even more sheer coverage. So for me, since I prefer more full coverage in my foundations, I'm using the Sigma Round Kabuki F82. Any type of like brush will work, but I've just found that a brush works better in application. It is not the most long wearing foundation. It does wear off a little bit more in certain spots around me during the day, but it doesn't claim to be a long wearing foundation. It claims to be a long hydrating foundation. So I will do some check-ins just so you can kind of see how it wore on my skin. I'm going to go ahead and mix both of the shades together because that's just what I've been doing. Okay, this first shade is Buff. This is the darker of the two. So I just take the wand and I just kind of stroke it on. I'm going to use this one, and I dip back into it kind of several times. You can build on this foundation to build up the coverage. So I have like a little bit more like discoloration, like kind of right up by my hairline, and you want to know what that comes from? It comes from not wearing enough sunscreen and getting really burnt on my face, or not getting the sunscreen up to my hairline. So if you're younger and watching this, please wear your sunscreen. You'll regret it one day. I'm going to go in with the shade Ivory all over as well. Do it right here. I would say that the first shade has more pink in it, and this definitely has more yellow to it, so they both have different undertones. And I'm going to take the brush and I just kind of buff it in. As you can see, it's just very skin-like, but it gives a really great coverage. It's just very skin-like, but it just gives a really nice look to the skin. Like, I feel like my skin looks really healthy when I wear this. Okay, that is what one application looks like on the skin. As you can see, I feel like it just makes my skin look glowy. Now, at first, it's a little bit sticky on the skin. Once it kind of dries down, it sets a little bit, but it still maintains that like healthy glow, I believe. Who do I think this foundation is for? Someone who is looking for a little bit more coverage, but they do not want it to look like they're wearing any makeup. They just want it to look like their skin, something that settles really well on the face. That's who I think this is good for, especially since it doesn't settle into your fine lines. It really just kind of sits on the skin in such a beautiful way without looking like it. So I have a little bit more discoloration right here, and I'm going to do a little bit more right here and around my nose, just for some extra building it up, because like I said, it's buildable, but I have a little bit more discoloration on these areas. It blends into the skin so beautifully. It's really effortless, but like I said, I really love the brush application versus the Beauty Blender. If you are someone who's looking for even lighter coverage than this, then you could go with the Beauty Blender. So I'm going to go apply the rest of my makeup, check in so that you can see what it looks like with makeup on top of it, freshly done. And then I'm going to go on with my day, and I'll do a check-in later and let you know how it wears, just so you can see how it wears on the skin, and just give you my 100% final thoughts moving forward with this foundation, even though I have some final thoughts that I have been building since I've been trying it for a really long time. So as you can tell, I really, really like it. And for what it does for my skin, I'm willing to look past the longevity of it. So since it's not really a long wearing foundation, but I do think it's important to see how it does wear. You know, because you don't want a foundation to be only 3 to 4 hours, and this definitely isn't, but I do want you to know how it wears during a 8-hour day at least. So I will do a check-in after 8 hours, but let me go and pop on my makeup and then I will be back. Okay, I'm back, and I wanted to show you what the foundation looks like with all of my makeup on. So as you can see, it just gives a really healthy look to the skin. I find that I just put on a little bit of concealer and bronzer, and I tried to not set it with powder too much because I don't always set my face with powder. I always set under my eyes and set my concealer, but I wanted you to be able to see really the way that the foundation just kind of like wears on the skin and everything. So this is how it looks. This is right after application, going to put on my makeup. It's probably only been like 30 minutes. So I wanted you to know what it looks like fresh makeup. So this is it. So I'll be checking back at the end of the day so you can see how it's worn throughout the day. Okay, this is the end of the day. It's been about 8 hours. I've gone to lunch, play with my kids, run a bunch of errands. I wore sunglasses, so like I have a little bit of wear and tear like on the sides of my nose. So it has been a full day. So my foundation, this is what it looks like at the end of the day. So although it's not the freshest, There's not any really wearing away right here, which is where my most concerns are. There's a little bit of wearing away on my chin and like right here around my nose, and then like on the sides of my nose where my sunglasses are, a little bit. But besides that, it's pretty good, and I feel like it still looks good on my skin. So I just wanted to show you what 8 hours looks like. After a while, it does wear down a little bit more. I would say for me personally, I find that I can get a good 8 hours, then it does start to break down a little bit on me. As you can see, it's shiny a little bit, like a little bit in my T-zone. It's a little bit oily. I wouldn't say oily, but it's like, it could be powdered, and if I were probably going to go somewhere else, I would powder it. So I give 2 thumbs up for this foundation. I think if you're someone who, this would be great for mature skin, someone who's looking for a little bit more coverage, anyone who has trouble with foundation settling into their fine lines. If you want a little bit of coverage but not to look like you're wearing foundation, this is a great product. So I think this is something that a lot of people might find that they really love. This is also a great foundation to wear, and if you want to mix it with something a little bit more high coverage, it's a great mixing foundation. If you guys watch my foundation declutter, I mix and match a lot of my foundations a lot of times. I don't, typically every day, I don't wear the only one foundation. I will mix and match based on what I want. Like if I want a natural looking finish with a little bit more coverage, I'll mix like a higher coverage with like a natural finish. So I like to play mix and match. But anyways, I think that this would be a great single foundation for a lot of people. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you've tried this foundation, leave your thoughts down below. This may be not great for some different skins than mine. I have normal to dry. So if you have oily skin and you've tried this foundation, I'd actually really love to hear your opinion, because those of you who have oily skin, you're going to be wanting to know a little bit more about how it reacts for oily skin. So everyone leave your experiences down below, because no one has the wrong experience. We can all learn from each other, and you know, if someone else has a different skin than mine, you might be checking the comments to see if someone's left their review on it. So again, leave your reviews and comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you all in the next video. Mwah.